Hi, I'm Professor Bill Torgerson. My students often call me Torg or Prof. Torg. Welcome to St. John's Storm Talks. I teach the mandatory composition class here at St. John's, so I'm often faced with a room of writers who kind of hope to never write another word again, or maybe even read. So I think one thing that I'm interested in as a teacher in writing studies is, what have you been writing before? And so that I imagine you preparing for the Regents, if you're from New York, or doing SAT kind of writing, or reading a Hemingway novel and identifying major symbols, and I imagine a lot of you not liking that very much. So I'm interested to hear what sort of writing you've been doing before. And when people ask me, what do your students struggle with, I often say that they've been tested to death or they've been given formulas for writing. So for all the reasons that I'm a person who reads and writes every day, I think school sometimes sets it up so that those are things that you hate. And then just to tell you a little bit about me that might open the door for some questions about part of my life, is that I write novels and I write scripts and I write articles about writing and teaching. So if those are things you're interested in, I go to film festivals and am really interested in the publishing world and digital media and how that's changing. All of my students do most of their work on blogs, and we make a short documentary film as a culminating writing project. And so that's the writing in my class, and I can imagine maybe some professors or maybe some of you who think, how is that getting me ready to do writing in other classes? And so I'm interested to hear about the sort of writing maybe you did in the composition class and how that really got you ready to write in other classes, whether you feel like you were served well by me, by people like me, getting you ready to do that writing. And we tend, in writing studies, we tend to think that academic writing is kind of a myth, because who's the professor and what's the subject and what's their idea about writing in college? That can really, really vary. And so how do I get you ready to do this thing that maybe doesn't exist? And then just something to think about. The more I'm out in the world, the more I find there are lots of people who are doing all kinds of writing that they never expected to do. I think of a student who is working in public relations with Vibe magazine, and she's suddenly faced with writing a press release, writing tons of press releases, and what is that and what does it mean to write a press release? Or other students who are working in finance and having to write newsletters once a month and dealing with complex texts about the Chinese economy. And so we're doing a lot of, if I have to write a press release, how do I read other press releases to try and write one that people will open? Or how do I spend 30 minutes with a complex text so that I can understand it and then share it with others who maybe don't have the expertise that I have? So I would love to hear from you. Anything connected to writing studies or the kinds of writing you're doing, or questions you have about anything I've talked about. So I look forward to your questions, and thanks for watching.